Hi everybody and welcome to week 7. It was a bit quiet last week online, but I think that was largely due to all the work that we were doing the previous week, so no worries. Last week and this week are actually somewhat combined in terms of topics, so looking at second language writing curricula and needs analysis, syllabus design, text selection, and prompt writing are all somewhat related. So if you weren't able to do a lot of writing last week, then we can certainly catch up this week with it. And this week there are two articles, or the one chapter in Ferris and Hedgecock, which a lot of you actually drew on to frame your papers, the analysis in your textbook critiques, which I thought was an excellent idea, because they have a really excellent checklist for you to use when you're reviewing a textbook. The other one is an article by Barbara Kroll and Joy Reid, who are two well-known scholars in second language writing, that actually look at the writing involved in creating prompts, writing prompts, either for essays or research papers, or even prompts for in-class timed writings. And they do a very nice explanation at the beginning, kind of, what is prompt writing all about, and looking at different literature that talks about that. And then they bring in actual authentic prompt samples from the 20 years that they've been teaching writing when this article was published. I think it's already been about 15 years now. Prompts that were well written and very effective, and others that were not, and how the others that were not caused a lot of frustration both among native speakers of English and second language writers. So I think you'll really enjoy that article in particular. To complement that, I posted a piece of prompt writing that I collected last year, part of my dissertation research, that was from a second language writing course, and the student had to actually write, I forget, it was a very short essay, choosing a particular prompt among a list of, I think, of about 3 or 4. So what I'll ask you to do is to open up that document, take a look, and the prompt he had to respond to, or that he got to choose, was using cell phones in the car, argue for and against that. So look at that, and then the teacher had written a prompt at the bottom, giving the students more direction. So I'm kind of curious what you think after reading the Kroll and Reid article. What do you think about that prompt, and what do you think may have happened to the student in that case? Was it a successful prompt or not successful? What are some of the problems or issues that you think may have come up? And then I'll certainly jump in and let you know what happened. Other than that, I wanted to let you know that I've had a chance to read your papers. They look very, very good. Thank you so much for doing them. And it seemed like you really enjoyed doing them as well. Learning about these new textbooks, thinking about them in terms of how appropriate they were for your teaching situation. And I felt that there was, such a wide variety of different textbooks. Some of them I knew, many of them were very new to me. And so I learned a lot as well in the process. I thought everybody did a very effective job summarizing what the text was about, and in such a way that I could understand and was very accessible for me. And then a very effective job analyzing the pros and the cons and whether it was appropriate for a teaching situation. So that was all great, really, really good. The only areas that I would recommend everybody to kind of think about a little bit more is using APA style. And I know that a lot of people were concerned about how they were using it, and felt a little bit insecure using it and just sort of learning it, or it seems kind of daunting. And I know APA is a completely different language in many ways. So in the feedback I've given to you, if you open it up, I'll have comments on the right-hand side using the comment function that I'll give you ideas of where you're doing well, questions I have that I'd like more information about, things for you to consider. There may have been points where I disagreed, and let you know other ways of maybe thinking about a particular issue. I also gave you some pointers on using APA in certain parts of your text. I used the text editing function and gave you some sense of how something could be rephrased using APA, largely around citations, for example. So very briefly around that, whenever you are citing and you're actually quoting somebody, be sure to include the page number at the end. If you're actually summarizing or paraphrasing, you don't need to use the page number. So there's sort of a quick reference guide there. Make sure that you also include the year with each author or set of authors you're citing. That's very important, so I know which year you're using. And in your reference list, make sure that everything in the references list is actually in the paper itself. There are a number of papers that the references included many authors who were not incorporated into the text itself, into your discussion yourself. So make sure that you're only citing those who are actually in the text. And what else did I want to say? There were some other points where I thought in terms of writing, you could be a little bit more concise. And so I've given some pointers there on how you may consider rephrasing something. So given this is a writing course, and I've been a writing teacher for a long time, and you folks are writing teachers as well, it's something gives us an opportunity to sort of kind of explore writing together and to get feedback on writing as a sort of as a larger group. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know, either through email or Skype, or you can certainly call me and we can talk about it. I think, oh yeah, just a couple other things in the remaining time with APA. Think about whenever if you're including a title of a book, for example, in the reference itself, make sure everything is lowercase except for the first letter or any sort of proper noun that may occur in the middle of the title. Everything else is lowercase, however. Let's see. Make sure that when you paragraph, that you indent 5 spaces. And yes, this is something I wanted to show you about. Barbara Eckert actually did a nice review of Swales and Feek, Academic Writing for Graduate Students. This is a really good book that sort of walks you through ways of writing academic papers at the graduate level, everything from how to start writing a critical summary or critique to the verbs you can use to position yourself vis-a-vis other authors. So check it out. I think you'll really like it. And Swales and Feek are very well known for all of their work at the graduate level. And this is one of many other books that they do for people writing in the social sciences, as well as the physical and natural sciences. Let's see, one last point about APA. Most everybody included references in their papers, but not everybody. So make sure that when you're writing, one of the requirements was to include references from other sources, and so that's important that I know that you're reading other research and using that research to contextualize what you're writing and thinking about. So, so for future papers, think about that. And I think that's it for that. In the remaining time, there's one thing I did want to mention to everybody is that this week on Thursday, CUPE, which is the union at the Student Teachers Union, Teaching Assistants Union at U of T, might be going on strike. And given that I'm a doctoral teaching assistant, I am a part of that union. And whether I like it or not, if it goes on strike, then I kind of have to follow along, which I really don't want to do because I enjoy teaching this course and want to be definitely a part of it. So Thursday, if they do go on strike, you may have a new teacher in the time that the strike goes on, which is a bit alarming. I'm sure it's certainly very uncomfortable for me, and I know very uncomfortable for you to have somebody new. All of the records and assignment guidelines are being sent to the dean of CTL, so he has them. And so we'll just have to kind of keep in touch and see what happens. So this is kind of somewhat unexpected. It's been coming up over the last couple of weeks, and they've been trying to negotiate an agreement. And maybe if you're on the University of Toronto email list, you've been seeing all these different things perhaps as the discussions go on. But anyway, that's going to affect a lot of people, and regrettably it's probably going to affect this course as well. I hope they don't go on strike. I really hope they don't, because I think it's a bit of a catastrophe for all of us. But I will keep you posted, and let's just hope it doesn't happen. Hope they get everything resolved. So anyway, take care and enjoy this week, and I look forward to chatting with everybody online. All right, take care. Bye-bye.